So things with Ian Garry and his wife have gotten a lot spicier in the last couple days. Recently, his wife came out on Instagram, pretty much gave a response to everybody who made a video about her and tagged or put the thumbnails of the MMA guru, Red Pill MMA, and Lucas Tracy, and one more I didn't recognize, but she came out and she said this.
So that we're not lost in translation, MMA guru, Red Pill MMA, and anyone who makes any content that looks like this has these kind of clickbaity, big, wild headlines. What you're doing is you're inciting a lot of hate to come my way. I want you to be very conscious that that is what your content, that is the consequence of your content. I want you to be conscious of that because I'm not the only one that you make those videos about. And if you haven't already heard about Caroline Flack, if you have, like, have we learnt nothing? If you hadn't, you need to read about her. So that's what happens when true things are taken completely out of context and used in a hateful way. Imagine then when you talk absolute fucking shit. Some bullshit things that people have been saying, that my ex-husband lives with us. No, he doesn't. And no, he never has. You're just making that up, inventing it completely. The idea that my current husband Ian took my ex-husband's name. Wild. I'm pretty sure most of you listening to that going, surely not. Surely nobody believed that. And a lot of the things I saw were people saying, this can't be true. You know, when it feels like it can't be true, it's probably not. The fact that people then said it with authority, like it's a news story, wild. It's stupid and it's a lie.
Okay, so after watching that, I want to get this out the way real quick. Listen, let's not send any death threats. Let's not harass this woman and Ian Garry. Let's not be a complete lunatic in their comment section. Let's be reasonable people. So I will not support anybody from my community or from my videos sending her death threats and really awful harassment comments. And I definitely don't support anybody else's community doing the same to her. But one thing she did mention in that little response that she gave was Caroline Flack. She referenced a girl who offed herself because of bullying. Now, that is a very extreme case, and it's a very sad story if you do read up on it, but I don't think this is a similar situation between her and what Caroline Flack went through. Listen, I have to be honest here, man. You and Ian Garry, mainly Ian Garry, because I don't think you really posted anything about this, but Ian Garry specifically posted videos, posted content that is open to be interpreted by us as people. When we see things like how you wrote an entire book about how to be a wag and you're 15 years older than your husband right now, the correlation is very, very weird, very weird. She even said, when you take true things out of context, but you're not the supplier of context, you're giving us clips to react to. And that is 100% in our rights to react to the clips you give us. And so the information we got from your clips, the information that you were sending us for us to receive, was the fact that, you know, you might be a potential danger to Ian Garry. Your ex-husband being a nutritionist is very odd and it's very weird. And fair play, you know what? He doesn't live with you. Cool. But in that little video that Ian Garry shared, it showed him saying, he literally said, you can go upstairs to your ex-husband's room and cry in his arms. He said that in that little clip that he gave on his Instagram. Now, when you say going up to your ex-husband's room, that is an assumption that he lives there, right? So I don't fault anybody for having the opinion that maybe her ex-husband lives with them. But you know what? Fair play, he doesn't. Maybe it was his house that he was in. Maybe they were recording that in her ex-husband's house, which again, is weird. I can call it weird. Everybody else can call it weird. And that's just the way the world works. When you give us content to react to, we're going to give you our reaction. And when you hate the reaction that we give you, it's not harassment all the time. You know what I mean? I don't doubt that she's getting harassment, hate, or comments on her post or some death threats. I don't doubt that at all. And we shouldn't do that. But I think with people like who are making content about this, this is not necessarily harassment. I wouldn't categorize this as, you know, harassment or hate. We're just giving our feedback to what you give us. And if you don't want this online, if you don't want this posted everywhere, don't post it. Don't post your business online. Simple as that. If you don't want people knowing about your nutritionist and ex-husband and all that stuff, don't post it online. Now, obviously, when you do post that, it doesn't give the right to people to send you death threats. I understand that. Listen, I understand everything pretty clearly. Again, do not send her any sort of death threats. Please, I'm begging you guys, don't do that. But we can react and give our take to your content. And that in itself, I don't believe is harassment in any sort of way. Me saying that is pretty weird that you wrote a book about how to be a wag and now you're married to a guy who is 14 years younger than you and also an up-and-coming UFC fighter who has star potential. Listen, it screams red flags, and I have to address that in a video. And I think it's perfectly fair for somebody to come to that conclusion. I said come very aggressively. And then when Sean Strickland gives his whole take about it and gives his whole 2 cents on the situation, you have your husband go into his DMs and pretty much threatened to sue him. I'll read you the text right now. Here you go. On the left is Ian Garry. On the right is Sean Strickland. Ian Garry says, and if you choose to continue to spread it knowing from the source it's not true, then you're partaking in harassment and defamation of character. The smart move would be to take it down. So right then and there, that's pretty much saying that, hey, we might sue you. This is harassment. You might get sued. We might get some legal stuff involved if you don't take down this post. It's a threat. It's an intimidation tactic. It's a way to get Sean Strickland to back up and push him into a corner and scare him away from making any more content about this, which totally backfired. And I'll read you that now. Sean Strickland says, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a guy who's trying to help a C word, can't say it on YouTube, sorry guys. Sue me, get in line, motherfucker. There are a few in front of you. I would have respected you more if you threatened violence against me, but I guess it makes sense. Another C word. Listen, I love Sean, but I have to work around the way he speaks sometimes. But Ian Garry responds with, Sean, what you're doing is spreading hate, lies, and harassment. I'm helping you here by giving you a heads up. So pretty much right there, we have Ian Garry trying to threaten Sean Strickland with some sort of, legal ability. You know what I mean? He's saying that, hey, this is harassment, this is defamation, so you probably should take it down, because if you don't take it down, there might be some trouble coming your way. That is definitely a, sort of intimidation tactic from Ian Garry, which to me is dumb. To me is dumb, bro. I think, in all honesty, they shouldn't have addressed any of this. I think these guys should have sat back, not posted anything, and let it go on the wayside. If Ian Garry, if Layla, if they stayed quiet the entire time, this probably would have been like a fly in the wind. It would have been a tumbleweed down the desert. It would have been absolutely nothing to anybody, but they wanted to dabble in. Ian Garry wanted to respond to the MMA guru. Layla has made plenty of posts on her Instagram, and it only fueled the fire even more. She only put more gasoline on the bonfire, and now it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is what happens. Listen, I don't think what most people who are making videos about this are saying is defamation or harassment. I think they are just people who are giving their take about a situation that they find is very weird. When I sit down and I look at the facts that are put in front of me with the relationship between Ian Garry and his wife, I view it as a very odd relationship. I think her ex-husband being a nutritionist is very weird. I have watched an interview where his wife was trying to manage him throughout the entire situation, and it seemed like Ian Garry was being somewhat controlled or somewhat, being nagged on by his wife throughout that entire interview. And that made things feel odd to me. It made things feel very, very weird. And so I can have an opinion about that. I'm not spreading lies. I'm seeing what I see and having a take on it. What I'm not saying is that his wife has him handcuffed in a chair down in the basement, forcing him to do her bidding, I just simply think that this is a very awkward and very weird situation and a very weird marriage. And I think I can, spread my opinion about that. But I will not say any lies. If I do get something wrong, I will quickly correct it. I will not be the one to sit here and be a guy who's going to encourage harassment or partake in defamation. I will always, always, always take back if I get something inaccurate or incorrect. Like, maybe her ex-husband doesn't live with them. You know what? That was kind of an inaccuracy. And even though you made the assumption or made us feel like he did live with you, it was inaccurate. It's whatever. It's under the bridge to me. I never thought that Ian Garry took your ex-husband's last name. One Wikipedia search pretty much proves that that was your maiden name, the name that you were born with. So it's simple as that, because obviously if Ian Garry took your ex-husband's last name, his name would not be Ian Machado Garry. It would be Ian Garry. So obviously that is not the case with your ex-husband. If you guys don't know, her ex-husband's name is Richard Cullen. So that would have to be Ian Garry's name for him to take her ex-husband's last name. But I don't know, man. It seems weird. The whole WAG book is a whole heaping mess. This whole situation is a mess. This will probably be the last video that I make about this entire situation. I think it's pretty much done. And now with the whole threatening of legal stuff, things are getting a bit too for me, and I want to kind of back out and give my last official take about this, even though, you know, my channel isn't very big and this won't get a ton of views, and I don't think it really would impact them any sort of way. But again, I just wanted to give my opinion about the situation. But I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Let me know how you guys feel in the comment section. I'm out of here. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for notifications so you get notified every single time that I post a video. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.